Marcos Breton to join us here. All guests are coming to you via the Fire Wings hotline. Try one of their delicious flavors of wings today. Fire Wings, just wing it. Hopefully you read his piece today on the Bee about the little city, the not so little city, Marcos, that all of a sudden is becoming a major player. In your mind, how did this all really happen as now MLS is coming to Sacramento?
Well, good morning. Good morning. It's a big event, a big thing for the city. It proves that we're a determined city, that we have had a host of key people who wanted to make this happen and forced Sacramento into the conversation when MLS had no plans of having another team in Northern California. They had San Jose, and they were looking at other parts of the country, and Sacramento really forced its way into this conversation. And credit to the key people, Warren Smith for coming up with the idea, and Kevin Nagel for believing in it and putting his money into it. And then even when it became clear that he wasn't going to be the owner of the MLS team, he recruited the guy who would be, and I think that really says a lot about him and about a whole lot of other people I haven't mentioned who helped make this possible.
And Marcos, thank you for that. Marcos also has an article out today. I retweeted it on Kevin specifically, and the Bee's coverage of this thing from the get-go has been absolutely stellar. And it continues throughout the week and weekend, and I'm sure into next week as they do a great job, whether it's Marcos or Dale or Tony or even Ryan, all those guys over there just going. I think I saw something from Noah yesterday on rivalries, really just kind of laying out what this means. Marcos, your article today really hit home with me. I've made no secret about my love for Kevin Nagel and my appreciation for him, as I have love and appreciation and am very protective of anyone who believes in this city, who invests in this city, and who stays strong for this city. And I thought you didn't have enough time to go over everything, but I thought you did a really good job of making the point that Nagel took a lot of junk throughout this process at times, and a lot of stuff that he had to have his hands behind his back on, he couldn't fight back on. A lot of unnecessary garbage during this whole process, and really, I won't say miraculous, but pretty tough road to get from there to here, and he had to weather a lot of that storm.
Well, he did, including, the rules being changed in the process. Where the entry fee to basically buy your way into MLS, doubled and tripled. At one point in time, it appeared that other people were going to lead the Sacramento's bid, and Kevin kind of took himself out of it, but stayed involved and then there's a lot of stories that are going to come out after the big announcement, but the whole purchasing the team was quite the drama, and then it, the thing that really for me stands out is his dream was to be the owner of the MLS team, and then that whole dynamic changed, and instead of walking away from it, he recruited the person who would be. And I think it says a lot about a person when he sees a bigger picture, and that bigger picture being putting a new stadium, new soccer-specific stadium in the rail yards, because it would be something that would jumpstart construction there, and that ensure that we would see something in the rail yards during our natural lives. And I think that these are all things that will be remembered, or should be remembered, for a long time to come, because it didn't have to happen, but it happened in large part because of Kevin Nagel.
Well, and just to finish that point, and we'll move on, but I'm glad you picked up on that too, because I think maybe of all the things in that process, the one that got to me the most should really be that you'll remember this, like, Kevin doesn't want to release control of the team. Kevin's fighting for ownership. Here's a guy who invested all the money, or a good amount of the money, and then went out and recruited somebody to replace him, even though the goalposts had been moved, like you said, And I remember telling him privately, like, dude, you got to fight back. This is right. You got to let me fight back for you at least, or somebody. Like, they're killing you on this. And not only are you not trying to keep control of the team, you're out there traveling the country, recruiting people to take it from you, to take it to the next level. That was the thing that pissed me off the most. And again, you covered it perfectly.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. And the thing is Kevin is someone who cares about things. And look, I mean, he's in the business to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. He's going to make money.
Yeah.
But he could have made money in any other different ways, and could have said, you know what, I just don't need this in my life. And he saw that this could happen, and that should happen, and that it was a play not only to bring an MLS team to Sacramento, but to build a facility and then build things around it and create opportunities for people to come together in the city. And I have to tell you, I've been so focused on getting these stories out, and you get into battle mode. Today's the morning that I woke up feeling really excited and amazed that this happened, because there were just so many times in the last couple of years where I felt, I didn't want to say it, I certainly didn't want to write it, but I felt like, man, we're dead. I mean, it's just not going to happen for us, and we're in this, and we're going to get this because people like Kevin Nagel did not walk away, and I think that's amazing.
Marcos Breton from the Sacramento Bee joining us here on The Drive. Marcos, Dave and I were speculating yesterday about where this can go, even for the city. We've seen the downtown arena for the Kings, now the soccer at the rail yards, 2 pro sports franchises in this community. But what else do you think that can lead to future growth, whether it's future events or even, I don't know, what does Sacramento look like in 2030 with just all this news with the Kings and then now with the Republic?
Well, I mean, I think where there's and I think we've seen it with Doko and the Golden One, where there's investment, attracts other investment, and I think that we've all been waiting for that one big project to become real, and for the rail yards to then follow suit. And I think that hopefully by that period of time that you mentioned, that we'll have a full-on community that has grown around the stadium. We'll have a district, an entertainment district, essentially with the arena, with the stadium, where it's walkable, and where people can go to concerts, where you see activity, public markets, all the things that we've been thinking about and hoping for in the city are going to happen in a much faster time frame. I'm a person in my mid-50s, and I was starting to wonder, am I going to see this?
Yeah.
And I think with the selection of Sacramento as an MLS city, I think the answer to that question is yes. We're going to see that, and it's exciting, and I can't wait for it to happen.
Marcos Breton of the Sacramento Bee with us. Check him out at sacbee.com. You can subscribe right now. I believe it's $1 for the first month, just $1 for the first month to get in there and check out real good local journalism. Marcos has an article today out on the road to MLS and focusing on our good friend Kevin Nagel. Also pieces from, again, Marcos Dale and the entire gang out there will continue, I'm sure, not only throughout the weekend, but throughout next week. Last thing for you, Marcos. Hey, buddy, you and I are baseball guys. So maybe you were stellar during the whole Kings thing. You've been fantastic through the whole soccer thing. What say we take a break, keep our eye on Oakland, and then start this thing up again? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, we're on a roll at this point. We're 2 for 2, and Oakland, despite having a committed ownership, seems to be trying to figure out how to get rid of all their sports teams. And why not? Why not? Obviously we need to go out and recruit another whale or two. But look, I mean, there was a time where in the early '90s there was a really famous picture of the late Joe Cerner, the mayor from the 1990s, standing at the rail yards with like a green and yellow hat on, and that was the idea. And for a whole bunch of different reasons, it didn't happen. But I can remember going to an Oakland A's game 30 years ago. And by the way, today's Loma Prieta Day. Loma Prieta was
Right,
30 years ago. I can remember going to an Oakland A's game before I moved to Sacramento, and there's like busloads of people from Sacramento at the Oakland Coliseum in a show of force. And I thought, man, those people from Sacramento are serious. So there's a long tortured history there as well. And after MLS happening, I wouldn't be surprised about what the city can accomplish in the future, and why not think about it if Oakland does what it always does, which is to say it shoots up in the foot and then creates opportunities for other cities.
Do you want to ask it, or should I? Because
I think you want to.
I figured you wanted to too. All right, we're getting off the phone here, Marcos, but got to ask you, parrot. What's going on in the background?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, we love it.
We just want to know.
It's a cockatiel.
Easy, we're on the radio.
It's the property of one of my daughters.
Okay.
I live with three women, and it was a vote of 3-1, and I ended up losing that vote. So it seems to always want to go on live radio with me, and it also seems to want to speak up when I'm interviewing like really, really important people. So, and I have to tell you, there are some politicians in the city who have not taken kindly to having a bird in the background. So I have moved to a different room now. See, that's the thing. I don't even hear it anymore, and it didn't even dawn on me that that people in Sacramento could hear our bird. So his name is Pumpkin. And I should have moved to a different room. So
right.
I will endeavor to do that for the next interview.
I completely disagree.
Yeah,
I want you
more
in that room. We want all the pumpkin we can get, Marcos, in the future. That's Marcos Breton of the Sacramento Bee.
The Drive.